up, guys? Welcome back to another video. As always, thank you so much for tuning in and checking out what we got in store today in Gimp's garage. I know it's been a minute. It's been like 6 weeks since I've posted a video. And it's because I've had a lot of stuff, personal stuff going on, health stuff in our family. And I've been working on the bike behind the scenes. Unfortunately, I didn't film any of the stuff that I did to the Ghost. So I'll just do a quick little rundown of what's happened since the last video up until now. Put in a Zippers 472 cam, got all the Harley junk out of there, S&S, cam plate, oil pump, lifters, push rods, the whole 9 yards you need for a proper cam chest swap, right? So then, at the same time, I threw on a Sawicki 2-in-1 exhaust. Sounds incredible, but the purpose of this video is the Öhlins rear suspension setup. There's a new number for it. It's no longer the HD 044s. They changed it. This is the blacked out version, black springs, black hoses. So the first thing we need to do to get this install going is we got to remove our bags, got to take the old suspension off. You want to do this on a jack, and you want to lift your bike to where the tire, the load is off of the rear tire, but the rear tire is still just barely touching the ground. So you don't want it fully compressed. You don't want to load on the springs from the weight of the bike. You just want it lifted just high enough to where that rear tire is sitting and just barely kissing the ground. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get the bags off and get the old suspension off, and then I will show you guys what's up next for that. All right, there we go. So as you can see, the new Sawicki pipe, we got some nice browning and coloration on there on the stainless from the dyno. This is comes completely stainless silver when you get it. But yeah, it looks really good. So as you can see how these were mounted, how it kind of rubs on the side cover right there, makes contact. I'm not digging that. So I'm just gonna switch it back to where we're running it off of these two rear bolts right here. All right, so this is gonna be a 3/4 socket to get your top and bottom bolts off of your suspension. So just loosen those up. All right, suspension's off the right side. Now we'll hit the left side the exact same way, and then we can get to installing the new ones. What comes in the box? All right, so we got our instructions and hardware here. Got our spacers, our hardware to put our brackets and stuff together. So we'll set the bracket arms off to the side, as well as our hardware and everything. Open these up. All right, so there's our new blacked out Öhlins. We got our reservoir there. See our blacked out hose. Little Öhlins O, little German O, and then our billet, our billet adjuster for the comp on top. And it looks like they on this model they built in the sleeves instead of having to put them in on with the hardware on the old ones. It looks like they're built into the eyelets. So let's Let's check these out. Let's get them put on. I'm going to set this off to the side so it doesn't get scratched up. It comes with your billet adjustment tool. This is to adjust the preload collar on top of the spring. You can do this on the fly with just this little billet hand tool. And then here's our reservoir bracket clamps. So next up, we'll put the clamps and the brackets together. That way they're on the bike and ready to feed our reservoirs in when we're installing the shocks. All right, so we took our little four-hole plate and we started it by putting it onto our bracket. It should look like this when you're done. So you'll put your two screws through the top, and then you'll have these two side ones, and you can see how they're kind of like they recess inwards, like a divot. And that's because of how the screws have that collar at the top, and that's just so they sit flush. And you'll see the writing. There's an upside on both sides, so left or right, but it's going to sit like this on the back of your bike. So it's up to you how you have the collar, as far as if you want this on the inside or outside. I'm going to have mine facing outside. All right, so that's how it should look when you're done. So it's going to use these two screw holes, right? And it's just going to sit with those spacers like this. And then the reservoirs just tuck right into the collar here, just like that. And what I was saying about the those spacers is, if you look the back, you'll see that the sleeve, the longest sleeve that comes with it, goes in here because that's the deepest point. All right, guys, when you're mounting the reservoir bracket, you're going to take your spacer, that long one, and the medium one. So these little spacers go on the inside, okay? They go on the inside of the bracket. So we got the longer one in the back, shorter one up front. Those just slide right in like that. Just kind of hold it all as you start it. But that's how you should look. They should be level, parallel with each other, and straight. Take our bolt and we'll just feed our top one in, just starting it just a little bit. All right, guys, so this comes with 4 washers. These washers, you're going to want a set on each side. Stick our reservoir in just so it's out of the way and not banging on things. Got that tight. We'll drop the bike back down onto the tire and then torque these bolts down to 70 foot-pounds. And then when I put it on the ground to give it all its weight from the bike, I'm going to check these again. All right, 70. put it on the ground and check it. Make sure we're still good there. All right, so that has the full amount compressed. Okay. 70, 70, 70, 70. And then we'll set our reservoirs and just tighten these up and just kind of center these. Okay. All right. So the install's done. Looks good, looks good. Everything's tight. Boom, boom. So that's done. Now we'll just put our bags back on, then we'll set our sag at the shop, and I'll post up that video. It's a lot easier to do with another person because you're kind of measuring the distance of how the bike compresses with the rider on and then versus off, and you make your adjustments on like length. Depending on which shocks you got, it'll show you on here on the instructions your setup data. And you can actually do this on Öhlins' website too, but it'll say spring preload 12 millimeters, which is going to be the distance from the top of the threading to where the collar is. And then 14 clicks and 14 clicks. So your rebound is going to be this bottom one here, down here at the bottom. That's going to be your rebound. For our compression, it's also 14 clicks. So set it all the way out by turning it counterclockwise till it stops, and then count back 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 14. Same for this side. And that's it. And then the next video will show you how to set the sag amount. Yay for us, install's done. All right guys, so there's the Öhlins rear suspension 779 install. Super easy to do. It's really not complicated. All you need is a torque wrench, a couple hand wrenches, 3/4 wrench, and that's about it. I mean, it's really not hard to do. Just pay attention to what you're doing, follow the steps, make sure everything's mounted correctly, make sure it's torqued down, and set your sag. And we'll show you in an upcoming video on how to set your sag. If you're not comfortable doing it, you can set it with a friend that knows what they're doing, or you can follow the video and you and a friend can do it based off of that. So look for that video coming up later in the week. But yeah, it's good to be back. Yeah, let me do a little walk around and show you guys how it turned out, and we'll see you soon. As always, much love from Utah. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Until next time, deuces. Peace out.